The highly anticipated showdown between Puerto Rico's Yankiel Rivera and Venezuela's Angelino Cordova lived up to its billing as a gritty, bruising battle, though it ended without a decisive winner. The flyweight clash, contested over 10 rounds, saw both men engage in a rough, physical fight that was marked by constant clinching, head clashes, and relentless mauling on the inside. When the final bell rang, the judges were split, declaring the bout a draw, an outcome that reflected the difficult task of separating two evenly matched warriors. From the opening round, Rivera attempted to establish his rhythm behind a quick jab and straight left hand, working to maintain range and keep the aggressive Cordova at bay. However, Cordova's determination to close distance was evident. The Venezuelan crowded Rivera at every opportunity, charging forward with hooks, uppercuts, and a willingness to tie up on the inside. It wasn't long before the clean boxing gave way to a rough-and-tumble fight. Both men used forearms and shoulders in close, with the referee constantly stepping in to break clinches. By the third round, accidental head clashes became a factor. Rivera, a slick southpaw, often ducked low to create angles, but Cordova pressed in with his head first, leading to several cuts and visible swelling. The Puerto Rican corner complained, but the referee let the action continue, only warning Cordova for excessive holding. The exchanges, though messy, were dramatic. Every moment in close quarters carried danger, whether from a sneaky uppercut, a stiff headbutt, or a looping hook. As the fight wore on, Rivera showcased flashes of his technical superiority. In the middle rounds, he landed sharp counters when Cordova overextended. His left hand frequently split Cordova's guard, drawing cheers from the pro-Puerto Rican crowd. Still, Cordova's relentless pressure negated Rivera's attempts to take control. Every time Rivera found space, Cordova bulldozed back inside, turning the bout into a physical battle of attrition rather than a showcase of clean skills. The 7th and 8th rounds were particularly grueling. Both men looked fatigued, yet neither gave ground. Rivera's jab had lost some snap, and Cordova's looping punches occasionally landed with thudding effect. The mauling on the ropes intensified, with each fighter using short punches and rough tactics to gain an edge. Rivera, more polished, seemed frustrated at times, shaking his head as Cordova clamped down in clinches. Cordova, on the other hand, thrived in the chaos, smiling and urging Rivera to trade. Going into the championship rounds, the fight felt up for grabs. Rivera's cleaner punches were weighed against Cordova's constant pressure and aggression. Round 9 saw Rivera box effectively at mid-range, sticking Cordova with crisp combinations before circling away. But the 10th belonged to Cordova, who stormed forward, hammering Rivera with overhand rights and smothering him on the ropes. The final moments were a blur of clinches, short uppercuts, and both fighters trying to will themselves to a definitive finish. When the scores were announced, the decision reflected just how tight and messy the contest had been. One judge had it for Rivera, another for Cordova, and the third scored it even, resulting in a draw. Neither corner seemed satisfied, though both acknowledged the toughness of their opponent. Rivera's team argued that his cleaner, more accurate punches should have swayed the judges, while Cordova's camp pointed to his aggression and control of the inside fighting as proof he deserved the win. The result leaves both fighters in a curious position. Rivera, once touted as a rising star at flyweight, showed resilience but struggled to impose his boxing on a rugged opponent. Cordova, meanwhile, proved again that his brawling, physical style can trouble technically skilled fighters, but he failed to convince the judges that his work was enough for victory. Talk of a rematch immediately surfaced, with fans divided on who deserved the edge. Given the clash of styles and the unsatisfying conclusion, a second bout seems not only likely but necessary. For Rivera, it would be a chance to prove he can adapt and find answers to Cordova's suffocating pressure. For Cordova, it represents another opportunity to solidify himself as a legitimate contender in a crowded flyweight division. For now, the record books will simply show Yankiel Rivera and Angelino Cordova fought to a draw. But those who witness the bout will remember the head clashes, the clinches, the bruises, and the raw willpower on display. It may not have been the cleanest contest, but it was a fight that tested the limits of both men and hinted at unfinished business that demands resolution.